Hello, everybody. I guess it's good evening or good night, whatever you want to call it. It's probably 12 o'clock on the East Coast. Is it 12 or 12? Yeah, about 12 o'clock. I'm sitting here with Jeff Lane, who I'm assuming, Jeff, we didn't even talk. I said, let's hop on here real quick. I'm assuming you saw 4 hours of SummerSlam.
Yes, watch the entire thing.
Listen, Jeff, I'm going to say something straight up. I made a decision this weekend. I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm too old to be doing things I don't want to do. I'm really tired, Jeff, of doing things I don't want to do. Okay, and listen, bro, I had two things. Number one, I had no desire whatsoever to watch SummerSlam tonight. I had no desire to watch NXT last night. I mean, zero desire. On top of that, tonight, the Giants were on ESPN, and, I mean, we're down to the last 5 weeks of the season. So, it wasn't even on my radar. But there's something I got to say, Jeff. Listen, I didn't watch SummerSlam, so I checked the results on my computer. People have to decide, Jeff. Either Vince Russo is going to be irrelevant or he's going to be relevant. Because when I got to my computer, there were 70,000 tweets asking me if I booked a finish to the main event. Okay? And it's like, it's comical to me because while obviously the majority of them are shots, bro, you are still talking about the writer of the show from 15 freaking years ago. Okay, you understand that, bro? The last show I wrote for the WWE was 1999. It is 2015. As a matter of fact, October will be 16 years. And yet, here I am, minding my own business, watching the Giant game, not even caring or thinking, oh, what's happening at SummerSlam tonight? I come to my computer, bro, hundreds and hundreds of tweets asking me if I booked the finish. So, seeing how controversial the finish was and also hearing about, they wanted to know if I booked the Jon Stewart thing, those were the only things I went back and looked at, okay? But, Jeff, I have to ask you this first because, Jeff, listen, I made a lot of tough decisions over the weekend. Jeff, listen, you and me now are going to be big radio stars on iHeartRadio. And I just made the decision. Listen, I'm 54. I'm not going to watch what I don't want to watch anymore. I made the decision, Jeff, over the weekend. Every Monday night every Tuesday is going to be an Attitude Era review. I'm not watching Raw. I don't want to watch Raw. I don't want to watch it. So I'm not going to watch it. I just made the decision. I'm not going to watch it. But listen, here's the thing, bro. Jeff, please, Jeff, because I depend on you to make sense out of everything. Okay? And while these like NXT marks are marking out over last night's show and all that, listen, I'm going to make this clear, and I'm going to make it clear, Jeff, on iHeartRadio. I want to make this clear to everybody. I'm going to make the statement now, and I'm not talking for Jeff Lane. I'm talking for Vince Russo. When I come on here and when I go on iHeartRadio, I represent the 7+ million people no longer watching wrestling. That's who I represent. I represent them. I don't represent the 3.5 million that are still watching. I represent double the audience that's no longer watching. That's who I represent. You have to explain this to me because no matter what I say out there, bro, I'm going to get attacked. And I know everything I say is thought out thoroughly. I don't just speak off the cuff. I think about the things I talk about. And I know what I say is totally logical and makes sense. But nobody wants to face the facts because we're all marking over NXT. Okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? Kevin Owens. on the NXT show yesterday, which is supposed to be AAA, the minor leagues of the WWE. You know, you go through NXT and then you make it to the WWE. That's the way the WWE has laid this thing out. Not me. They go through the training ground at NXT. When they're good enough, they go to the WWE. Would you agree with that, Jeff?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it's been presented, right?
Yep.
Okay, so please explain this logic to me. Kevin Owens yesterday on the NXT show loses to an NXT wrestler, right? Finn Balor has never been on the main WWE roster. He's an NXT wrestler, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Kevin Owens, a WWE wrestler on the WWE roster, drops down for a night to NXT and loses to an NXT wrestler, right? The very next night, Kevin Owens, who lost to the NXT wrestler, goes back to the WWE and beats a WWE wrestler.
And they even showed the highlights from the match that he lost last night before the Cesaro match tonight.
Okay, Jeff, how in any way, shape, or form does that get the WWE over? And what about Finn Balor? Finn Balor beats the WWE guy, but the WWE guy he beats goes on to have a match in the WWE, but Finn Balor doesn't. Honestly, bro, because no matter what I say to these NXT Nimrods, it's an argument. Somebody needs to explain to me what I'm looking at.
It's hard to explain because, like you said, NXT is supposed to be the AAA. That's where they start, they train, they go up to WWE. But Triple H has been promoting this. It's its own separate brand. It's not the minor leagues anymore. It's its own separate brand. Well, if that's the case, then why do people get called up from there to go to WWE? So I don't agree with that. Whether he thinks that's that way or not, that's not the structure they're running. But somehow he has figured out how to get his company over with Vince McMahon's money and make them look just as strong, if not stronger, in cases like this.
Bro, he's working an old man. And I said this months ago. Triple H is working a 70-year-old man. He literally, NXT is outshining the WWE. That's literally what's happening. He is working a 70-year-old man. And I got to tell you, bro, Vince better wake the F up. Because let me tell you, what's going to happen when Vince is 75 years old? What are they going to put? They're going to put him in a home then? Are Stephanie and Triple H just waiting to put him in a home? Because, bro, they've made WWE second banana.
The night, and we talked about this when it happened, but the night that Neville chose to wrestle for the NXT title over the United States title, that was the first sign right there that something is not right here.
And, bro, they did the same thing with Sasha.
Yeah.
She goes up to the WWE. She goes back down to NXT to defend her title and loses to an NXT title, but she goes back to the WWE, not the person who beat her. Listen, I understand, bro. They want to get the title off of her. But listen, what makes sense is if somebody's ready to be promoted, they got to make that decision. We're either going to stay in the NXT and defend my title, or I'm going to relinquish my title and I'm going to go up to the WWE. Not that you all this hoopla that you go to the WWE. Now you got to go back down to lose the title.
Yeah, because when Paige went up, they ran a tournament. They vacated her title and they ran a tournament for it. So I don't know why that logic has changed.
Hey, bro, not for nothing. Like, these NXT idiots are going to tell me that makes sense. So somebody literally is going to have a conversation with me, the irrelevant one, the stupid one, and actually tell me that makes sense.
You know what, really? I didn't watch the event, but I watched the the highlights of the end of the Sasha Banks Bayley match. And what really irritated me about that is they hugged afterwards, and all the girls in the ring holding up their hands. And I'm like, does Sasha Banks the character not exist at this point now? Because Sasha Banks the character is not going to hug Bayley after that match. She's not going to be holding up hands with Charlotte and Becky Lynch, who she's wrestling the very next day.
Bro, wait a minute, Jeff. Jeff, not only that, okay, not only that, but that makes it perfectly okay for Dana White to make a statement that wrestling is fake. It makes it when they're telling you that match that just took place was not real, and we're now going to hug and congratulate each other. How can anybody, Taz, anybody have any heat over what Dana White said, bro?
Yeah, I just don't understand it. That really bothered me because you look at characters and what would they do, and Sasha Banks, the character, does not act that way. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. That seems to be the formula. Like when Owens went up, he dropped the title, and then I don't know why he was back wrestling. I just don't understand that. The only reason they sold 13,000 seats is because SummerSlam and Raw's the very next day. If he wants to talk about we're going to sell out, we're going to sell all these seats, go do it on a night when Raw, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year isn't there the next day.
Well, and there was a tweet this morning by Triple H. Somehow the 13,000 turned into 15,000. By next month, when everybody forgets about it, it's going to be 20,000. Whatever, bro. That's why, Jeff, I'm not watching it anymore. It's the most asinine, ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Listen, I had Ed Ferrara on my show, and Ed's an NXT fan. And Ed's theory basically is that, listen, Vince, he said, the WWE, they've given up trying to get the masses. They don't know how to do it. He basically said after you and I left, they did not know how to get that mass audience. So they've completely – that's not going to happen, Vince. He said they're not going to go over after the 7 million people that aren't watching the show. It's the NXT thing now. But I like I said, bro, like it makes – how anybody can criticize Dana White, and wait till we get to the finish of the last match. Wait till we get to the finish of the last, because I think there's a lot of people tonight that owe Dana White an apology. A lot of people, bro. But I only watched the finish of the Rollins match and that. So go over everything else for me, Jeff. But just what you think is worth talking about. If there's nothing worth talking about, don't. Just what you think is worthy of discussion.
Let's see. We are winging this, folks, and we weren't preparing for this, so I don't have a list of notes. Let's see, the Divas match, they put Becky Lynch over in the 9-girl match.
That made you happy, right?
Anytime I can see her on the screen makes me happy, Vince.
Yeah.
But yeah, she went over, and that Faces went over.
They had the 3-way, and I think the Feed Me More gimmick, Ryback went over.
Ryback won that. New Day won the tag belts back.
Arrow. What about the Arrow gimmick?
Yeah,
I heard he looked okay.
Yeah, he did actually. You could tell he was working hard to try to pull this off. The match was very short, which I thought was smart. But they went over. He didn't get the pin. Neville got the pin.
Okay.
And I liked the opening segment. It was Jon Stewart and Mick Foley in the ring. Jon Stewart was talking about how he was there to interview Brock Lesnar, and he brought backup to protect him. So he calls out Mick Foley, and Foley, he's joking around, says, maybe I was talking to you with, hey, I had the phone on the ear that I lost, but I thought you said The Rock. I missed the B. So you're on your own, Stewart. It was funny, and he's like, you're scared of Brock Lesnar. You were the hardcore legend. You got thrown off a cage 20 feet, and Foley goes, that was 17 years ago. He goes, one place I've never been to in wrestling? Suplex City, and I'm not starting to do that now. So I thought that was really good. So He goes, you're on your own, Stewart, and he leaves, and then Stewart went with him. So I was entertained by that. The Sheamus-Orton match is just, they have no story. I didn't care. Sheamus won. You talked about the Cesaro, and let's see, I'm missing one, because we're going to talk about Rollins and Cena, and we're going to talk about The main event. I feel like I'm forgetting a match.
Oh yeah, I don't think so, bro.
There was 10. There was 10 matches. So we got the Divas match. We had the tag match, the Intercontinental match, Cesaro and Owens, Cena, Rollins, Undertaker, Arrow, Orton and Sheamus.
Well, that just goes to show you how
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember. I know I'm forgetting. Oh, the tag match. It was Reigns and Ambrose.
Oh yeah. And bro, did they? I know the babies went over, but did Bray get pinned again?
I don't remember. I
think he did. I think what I was reading, Bray got pinned again. I mean, and if that's the case, like I don't even get that when he's got a partner. If you're pinning Bray, but I mean, I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay,
yeah, I don't remember.
So let's talk about the because I saw the finish of the Cena match.
I guess this was playing off the angle on the Daily Show. I hadn't been watching it. I thought the whole storyline tonight was because they did a backstage with Stewart and Heyman. So I thought that was what he was getting involved with that somehow. So he comes out in this match. I was a little bit confused. But they played off, okay, who's he going to hit? And then he hits Cena, and then Rollins gets the pedigree on the chair. He goes over. What's the crowd like? The crowd was very anti-Cena the entire night, pro-Rollins.
Yeah. I watched the ending of that, and I mean the execution was just absolutely horrible.
Well, they gave it away before it happened.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that. Like Stewart went over and
it was just the execution was horrible, bro. Basically, like bro, listen, they had all day to rehearse this, for crying out loud, and I'm sure Stewart's the kind of guy, he's a fan. He's been there before. I'm sure if they said, bro, be here at 12 o'clock, he was going to be there at 12 o'clock. I doubt that the guy showed up 15 minutes before the show. So they had all day to rehearse this, bro. And basically what should have happened is, Rollins is down selling, Cena's in the other corner, he's tapping that chair, signing, lining up Rollins. Cena walks over to it, boom, in one motion. Stewart turns around, and not in the gut, bro. That was so horrible, bro. It was in the gut. Then Cena had to stay bent over because Stewart forgot. He threw the chair out. Then he remembered, he's going to pile drive or whatever he did on the chair. So literally Cena's like this for a half hour, when basically if they would have rehearsed it, he's sizing up Rollins. Here comes Cena. Stewart, one shot to the head. He blocks it. Of course, Cena doesn't take the head shot. Goes down 1, 2, 3. They had all day to rehearse that. That was absolutely I don't mind that what Stewart did at all. That's not the point. The execution was absolutely horrible. But I got to tell you, bro, the execution of that match made the execution of the last match look like a Michelangelo painting.
Do you think so they botched it? Because I think they did exactly what they wanted to do in that last match.
Of course they did, bro. If they...
No, I'm not saying it wasn't a bad idea. I think that's what they wanted to do.
What are you talking about?
Not the main event.
Oh, in this one?
The Undertaker.
What match are you talking about?
I thought you switched to the Undertaker.
Yeah, I did. I am switching to the Undertaker.
Yeah, I thought the ending was bad, but I don't think they screwed it up.
Oh, no, they did exactly what was written. They laid it out. But, bro, again, this goes back to the Dana White comment. Okay, first of all, a referee shouldn't be out of position unless you're Rudy Charles. Okay? That's number one. But, bro, I'll even take the referee is out of position. Okay, so he's on the flip side. He doesn't see Taker tapping. Okay? The minute he hears that bell, okay, again, let's go back to Dana White being this is fake. Okay, let's go back to that. Okay? Any referee is going to hear that bell and wave it off. No, and continue on. That's what he's going to do. Now, what I don't understand is, bro, here would have been the simple finish. This would have been the simple finish. He doesn't see the tap, tap, tap. The camera sees it, but he doesn't see the tap, tap, tap. And then Lesnar gets awarded the victory. Okay, I mean, what now, bro? Now the story is that Undertaker gets the victory. I'm sorry. He doesn't see the tap, tap, tap. Undertaker somehow reverses it. Then you get the Brock pass out. But the fact of the matter is, Taker tapped out first. He knew that he tapped out first, but he proceeded to win the match. So Taker becomes a heel anyway. So I don't understand, but here's where the Dana White thing comes in. The referee stops everything to go argue with the time. Can you imagine this in a UFC fight, bro? Can you imagine this in a Ronda Rousey fight where the referee totally lets the two of them beat the crap out of each other and starts arguing with the timekeeper? Charles Robinson is doing the worst acting in the world. He's arguing with the timekeeper, to set up the Undertaker low blow spot.
This was my issue with it. Like, if this is a legit event, where in the annals of history would a timekeeper ever think they have the authority to ring the bell if they see a guy tap? That was the reason. The timekeeper saw the Undertaker tapping, so he rang the bell. Right. When has the timekeeper ever been able to do that without the referee pointing at him?
Right.
So that was just lame to me. Who's believing that?
But then on top of that, whether say you made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Say you made a mistake. Okay, the ref's gonna wave it off and get right back in there.
Yeah.
He's not going to get up, go through the ropes. And everybody who took a shot at Dana White, they all need to get in line now and apologize. This is why Dana White said wrestling is fake. That does not happen if this were a real fight.
Yeah,
like
if they would have done that explanation you said, it would have been much, instead of trying to explain that the timekeeper saw him tap, so he rang the bell, instead of just saying, I screwed up, I thought the ref called it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, and bro, the story is, like I said, I was getting myself confused. But listen, here's all they had to do. The referee's on the wrong side because he's looking to count Brock's shoulders.
Yeah.
That's why he's in that position. Okay, in the meantime, Taker taps. He doesn't see it. Okay, at that point, Taker reverses it and gets Brock to black out. Just like they did at the finish. Undertaker gets to clear the victory. Heyman's still throwing a fit. Maybe Heyman's on the other side and Heyman saw the tap. He tapped. Bro, then all you have to do is come back Monday night and all Taker has to say is, I never tapped. Obviously, Paul Heyman, they doctored the footage. That's all he has to say, bro, is deny that I never tapped out. I mean, this whole kabuki-ish...
They could have not even had to go that far. The ref's looking at Lesnar's shoulders, Undertaker's tapping. He could have just counted Brock there. Just have his shoulders down there. End it right there. Okay, Undertaker taps. Ref doesn't see it. Then he sees Brock's shoulders are down, so he counts the 1, 2, 3 right there. You get a clean pinfall finish without the screw job. But you accomplish the exact same thing without the confusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And bro, this is what I mean about, it's 2015 and they have no clue of what people sitting at home, normal people, not the Nimrods, what normal people sitting at home are absolutely going to laugh and go hysterical at. There's a match going on and this guy's arguing with the timekeeper. They can't even realize in their mind when they're talking about this throughout the entire day. They can't, because bro, they've been doing it for too long. They don't know what good from bad is anymore. So while this conversation is going on the whole day, not one person is thinking, oh my God, that audience at home is going to be thinking this is the stupidest thing they've ever seen, because if this fight were real, that would never happen. There's not one person throwing a red flag. and then like somehow or another, I'll be painted the picture that I'm the idiot because I didn't put it over, and I didn't put the WWE over, and I didn't put the finish over. There were so many ways to do that, Jeff. Like you said, like I said, either take a taps, he doesn't see it, then he gets the reverse Hell's Kitchen, whatever it is, or exactly like you said, which is a lot cleaner. Tap, tap, taps, never seen it. Finally, Brock's shoulders go down, 1, 2, 3. You come out the next time on Raw. Taker says, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no tap. I was scratching his arm. Whatever the case may be, but to have a referee stop everything and go argue with a timekeeper. Freaking Dana White sitting at home, somebody's smartening up about this, and the guy's going freaking hysterical. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, bro, that just, it should not happen in 2015. And I also saw that one spot, bro, somebody like replayed this later on in the night. I saw it on Twitter where Rollins hit something huge off the top on Cena, hit something huge, then popped right back up and hit him with something again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it was Rollins did a frog splash.
Yeah.
And then Cena jumped right up and grabbed him.
That was another instance.
Oh, okay.
I saw a completely other one where Rollins hit him with something from the top. And then as soon as the two of them hit the canvas, he got right back up and hit him with something again. And oh my God, bro, I don't know, bro. They sold 13,000 seats at for NXT, I guess. I don't know, bro.
It's I don't know. I don't think it was a bad show by any means. Overall, it was better than a lot of the other shows. So. Of course, it helped. I had a couple buddies over, and one of them brought his 11-year-old daughter, so listening to her during the show was interesting and made it more enjoyable. But I thought there was a lot of good matches. But the finish was weird. I don't know. And are we going to forget about this, or is Taker going to be on Raw tomorrow? I'm hoping it's in the same building. Taker's got to show up. I hope they don't do a reset like they did after WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like how, like when WrestleMania was over, it's like they just went on to everything new.
Yeah.
Like if Taker's going to get the win here, he needs to be still on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why'd he get the win? That's the way I look at it.
And I got to be honest with you, bro. Like even that logic, like, and I wrote about this at CSR, bro. Taker's 50 years old. He's not beating Brock Lesnar. I mean, you know what I mean, bro? I mean, like, right? Forget about the unbelievability of the finish. Brock Lesnar is in his prime. Undertaker's a 50-year-old guy that dusts off the cobwebs and the dust once a year, and he comes out and wrestle. And he's going to beat the most legitimate guy maybe in the history of the WWE in his prime. I don't understand. And again, bro, let's make ourselves perfectly clear. We're not saying anything negative about the work of any of the talent. You know, they all work their butts off. You know, from what I saw every day, they're all given 100%. But you can't have a referee arguing with a timekeeper while a match is going on, bro.
Hey, I don't know, man. If Lillian Garcia is 49 years old, and if I'm going to believe that, then maybe I can believe anything, because I can't believe she is 49 years old.
Who said she's 49 years old?
She is 49 years old. She is. She had her 49th birthday this week.
Are you serious, bro?
Oh, dude, she looks amazing. I've never seen a 49-year-old woman look so young in my life.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, she's 49. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Could not believe it. So I guess anything's possible in the WWE. So I guess if she can be 49, then Undertaker can beat Brock. But I don't know. I'm wondering what they're doing. That's the other thing. Rollins now has the U.S. belt. So what do they do at this point with that? You got your champion that now has the number 3 belt as well. Think they're retiring it? You know, maybe they're going to merge it, get rid of it, so they only have 2 belts. I was thinking maybe he'll give it to Jon Stewart, you know, as a retirement gift, and Stewart will walk off with the belt, and it's no longer in the WWE. because I think it's hard when you have the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. I think that's just too many belts. You know what I mean? You get to a point where what are the important belts? There's so many belts. How many people have belts? I think that was always the problem. Like when there was the European title or the TV title in WCW, it just always seemed like there was one too many belts, and I think they got that going on now.
Yeah. Bro, you know what match you forgot?
What?
Ziggler and Russo.
I did forget that. Oh, dude, and that was one because the crowd crapped all over the ending because they did a double count out. Yeah. That was the finish. But that would have been a perfect point to say, look, because the finish came because Rusev had Ziggler in the accolade, and then Summer Rae went over to Lana, went to slap her. Lana clocked Summer Rae, so Rusev dropped the hold to go outside the ring, and he ended up he hit Ziggler with something through the announce table, and they ended up or on the announce table, I think that's what happened. So they ended up doing a double count out. But that would have been a perfect time. Look, we're going to restart this match right now as a mixed tag match. I thought that's what that should have been the whole time, is have a mixed tag match with them.
Real good idea, bro. Yeah.
But I guess that there's no way they're ending it with that. I wouldn't think anyway. But I would have liked to see something different with that.
So it looks like a lot of this stuff then is going to continue on, right?
You would think so. You would definitely think so. I hope Sheamus and Orton isn't. Good God, there's no story there. And Sheamus went over clean, which is strange to me. The girls, I mean, I'm sure that's going to continue in some fashion. There's really no story there either. The tag team division, that was I was entertained throughout that whole match, especially when you got Xavier Woods yelling on the outside. So I thought that was an entertaining match, better than I thought it was going to be. And they did a lot of real interesting spots, and the finish was cool. But again, no story there.
Bro, did Rudy have any of these matches?
Rudy had the Owens-Cesaro match.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and the layout was really weird. I don't know if you noticed. They put like Cena and Rollins at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Which was strange. And then the match right before the second to last match was Owens and Cesaro. I just thought the card was laid out very strange. I don't know. You kind of know the WWE title's not changing hands, I guess, if they do it halfway through the show.
So you think Owens and Cesaro will continue also?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What was that finish?
Owens went over clean.
He went over clean.
Yeah.
So there really isn't a reason for it to go forward, right?
No, there was no after the match stuff. There was no story.
See, again, bro, even that boggles my mind. I mean, my God, say that story doesn't go any further, right? Did WWE really believes Owens is more valuable to them than Cesaro? I mean, on what level? Like,
but it's like what we were talking about earlier. If that's the case and that's what they believe, okay, but then why is he losing to Finn Balor on Saturday night? It's not a house show; it's on TV. You know, it's on their network. So
yeah, I mean, so who wins in that scenario? You know what I mean? You know, Owens loses to an NXT guy, and the next night Owens beats Cesaro, a WWE guy. So what does that do for him?
Yep, and they made sure everybody watching SummerSlam knew it if they didn't know already. They made sure to say Sasha Banks lost her NXT title last night to Bayley when she was coming out to the ring. They made sure to tell you that Owens lost to Finn Balor while he was coming out to the ring. So I don't know. I mean, you worked with the guy. I just from my understanding of Vince McMahon, I don't see how he would ever allow something else to be on an even playing field with the WWE.
Losing it, bro. He's losing it. He's losing it. I'm telling you, bro. And I can't believe what I'm saying. If you would have told me I would have seen this, 15 years ago, Vince McMahon being worked by a wrestler, I would have told you are absolutely out of your mind. And I don't care what anybody says. You could call me whatever you want. That's exactly what's going on.
Well.
All right, bro. Well, that's it then, right? So
that pretty much covers it.
So you didn't watch the NXT show?
No, I plan on watching it. My cousin came out yesterday, and we ended up watching a bunch of Star Wars movies, and I didn't feel like watching it because I know it's going to be one of those shows where I'm going to want to fast forward half the matches. So I'd rather watch it afterwards.
Yeah, but it's the Renaissance period now.
That's true. Really, I wanted. There are matches I wanted to see. I wanted to see Samoa Joe and Corbin. I wanted to see how they did.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the girls match, and I wanted to see the main event. But other than that, I didn't have interest in any of the matches. So.
Yeah, they really put over that girls match.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy the majority of their matches, so I just don't understand the logic of A, Sasha losing to an NXT girl, and B, her dropping character completely. I mean, you know what it looked like was the click at MSG. That's what it looked like.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about when you lay it out like that. And again, I'm just thinking to myself, like Vince is backstage watching that, and then like I said, everybody's gonna throw a pissy fit because Dana White said wrestling's fake. What do you want the guy to say?
Yeah, but I would have loved Sasha to just beat Bayley's ass after the match. Wouldn't that have made more sense? Wouldn't that have given her heat back, going back to the WWE, losing her title? I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing when we're booking this matches is not making somebody step down whether they win or lose. Everybody should advance from the match, and especially somebody who's at a higher level. So if Bayley wins, maybe she gets a cheap win. I don't know if it was. I know she hit her finisher. But Sasha just completely destroys her after the match, and you play that up on SummerSlam. Sasha's a poor loser, and show her actually beating down Bayley, and I think that gives her some credibility going into tonight's match. But I don't think that did her any help. Obviously, it helps Bayley tremendously, but who are we trying to help here, NXT or WWE?
Yeah. All right, well, Jeff, tomorrow we got to do what? What is it, January 5th?
Yeah, Tuesday.
January 5th, 19.
Yeah, we need to watch it tomorrow. I need to watch it tomorrow because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I need to watch it too. I got a whole laundry list of things I need to do.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get this up. Get this up on YouTube so people could take a look at it. But again, I just, I'm not. I didn't watch it. I had no interest in watching it. I mean, I can't not comment on that finish. I've never,
Yeah, I thought it was Charles Robinson. You don't ring that bell.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's not his fault. That's what they told him to do, but it was absolutely cheesy. It was.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Well, listen, I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll be back on Tuesday morning, and we'll look at the Attitude Era, June 5th, 1997. We'll go over that in detail. But thanks, Jeff, as always, especially for doing this the last minute. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.